Can I ask you guys a question?
What's up?
What's up with America right now with all these mass shootings, 7 mass shootings in 7 days? Then people, surprisingly, it was a black dude. He had 5 guns on him with body armor and went into a Publix supermarket in Atlanta. So you had the Atlanta massage. I won't say massage. Atlanta shootings that involved the Asian community. You
Hmm.
had some in Texas. You had Boulder, Colorado. Then you had the Atlanta thing yesterday.
That's great.
Like what? Yeah, you said one. It was one in Hesperia too. Like, what was the situation with that?
Somebody just went in there and was wilding out, had a gun. Officer pulled up, and the guy shot the officer. That's all that I read. That was all
Dead.
the. No, no.
Okay,
Luckily, no, he
thankfully.
survived. But yeah, it was obviously like where we live or where I live. It's the inland empire, so it's about like I don't know, like 70, 80 miles from LA. But then the LA news picked it up too. That's how serious it was because this is what's going on in the country. So,
Mm.
and it's crazy that it's happening at supermarkets. Like, why? The one in Hesperia happened at a supermarket too. So, I don't understand what's going the infatuation with supermarkets and the spa.
I don't know if it's necessarily an infatuation with supermarkets.
Yeah.
I think it's more so like there's an agenda clearly, right?
Mm.
And there's innocent people. Your average everyday person that's innocent, an innocent bystander is going to be at the grocery store, of course. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Especially we in a panorama still. You know what I mean? So we can't go out like we normally would, right? So a lot of people are, cooking at home and whatnot, myself included. We just made some tasty blackened salmon aioli sliders tonight. But I digress. But you know what I mean? So people are gonna be at the grocery store. So I think that's the target is that, there's innocent people there. So people are gonna attack there.
Yeah, it's disheartening though, because I mean, this is the one place where you feel like, all right, I'm gonna go shop for myself, my family to enjoy, food or get your necessities, and the last thing on your mind is like, let me prepare just in case there's a shooting. You don't walk into establishment and think that, but with the recent events, like that's gonna run through people's minds. So putting a lot of fear in the public and the American people. But I I, I don't I can't explain it. I think that people just been out inside for such a long time, and like you said, there's an agenda, and I don't know necessarily what the agenda is, but it sucks. It's sad.
I think I would say I can't speak for, obviously, rest in peace for everybody that, um,
Yes.
got, injured, killed, just
Murdered.
murdered.
Hmm.
It's just bad. I think it kind of stemmed from, like, let's start with the Asian part, right? The Corona, everybody thinks it's, from China. So I think they're just like, maybe they are trying to release that anger because they trying to blame them, like, oh, it was them that bought it over here. This is why I have to wear a mask, this is why I have to stay in. And obviously it could be multiple things, right? Then I think it's everybody wants to follow other people, right? It's just like a trend, and it's the wrong trend.
Mm.
A lot of that Asian hate that was happening right across the country. Give an example, something even happened in San Antonio where there was like a popular noodle spot that they vandalized. Okay, so then they're like, okay, they cleaned it up and they vandalized it again. Put all this stuff like go back home, all this Asian, all this,
Oh my
all
gosh.
this bad stuff. So it kind of forced that person to shut down until he kind of got a hold of it. And just living in that type of fear is it's unfortunate because um, you don't know. Like I said, you could be at the grocery. It's the innocent. Like, I heard somebody that just got stabbed, pumping gas. Like it's just crazy, and people are on edge. We're in a rough time. A lot of people got money now. They trying to they know other people got money. They're getting desperate, and they've been in this house. They've been cooped up so much. Their mental state. It's I it's I can't even say. I can't even.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think coronavirus does have something to do with it. The racism involved with the fact that
Even the
um,
Jeremy Lin situation.
yeah, for sure, is has something to do with it. But discrimination against the Asian community is not new.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like none of that is new. Like it's been going on forever. But it is interesting, and I think it may have something to do with what we've experienced over the last year, and who was in charge and the way that he was describing the pandemic that we were involved in and still are involved in, of why it's so prevalent now, right?
Hmm.
I think we are all fortunate because we grew up in Southern California, so we saw, you know, black, Hispanic, white, Indian, Asian, Pacific Islander, et cetera, right? I got I have a fair amount of Asian friends. I have, you know, a fair amount of Asian family members as well, and Hispanic, et cetera, et cetera. But so it's difficult for me to see, the people that I know um, afraid, afraid for their older aunts, uncles, parents, and making sure that they're safe, having to check in on them and them checking in on their adult children. To see that, that's pretty crazy to me.
Yeah.
Man, but it's not new. Like even us growing up, like in a diverse, like a melting pot. We like in high school, we probably all witnessed like discrimination against Asians, and I'm starting to just believe and like really like start to see that this is this is America, like Childish Gambino's song, right? This is just what we live in. Like
Mhm.
even like obviously like I want to be the first one to say like stop Asian hate. I have Asian friends as well. We all do.
Yeah.
It's not it's something we don't want to see our friends and family and their families go through and whatnot. But it's happened to like my people. It's happened to black people. Like people obviously like some of my people are on the corner, like they're selling corn, they're selling flowers or whatever it is, and then they'll
Fruit,
go
all
over,
that.
and then they'll go like destroy their little their shop, like things that'll put food on their families' tables. That's hate. They'll go to the noodle shops and destroy their restaurants, and this is their establishment. They're allowed to have this business. This is what this country was built on. But then you have people that see it otherwise, and I think that that's the frustrating part, is that everybody seems to just be wanting to do better, be better. Even with black owned businesses, like they get discriminated on, like in so many, like I feel like we all get discriminated on, and
Oh
it's
yeah, for sure.
that's the frustrating part, and it's not highlighted enough. I feel it is in the news, but there's not much being done about it other than like us, like supporting each other, like you guys, us, and then supporting like our Asian friends, Hispanic friends, black friends. Um, but I don't see white America supporting it and backing that up as far as saying like this is wrong. They're just highlighting it. They're saying, "Oh, look what happened over here. Look what how they discriminated over there." But where is the plan for this to eventually stop? There's nothing for it. There's plans for everything else, but not to stop hate.
Well,
Obviously, we want to stop all hate. We want to stop Asian hate, black hate, Hispanic hate, Mexican hate, whatever it is, right? But there's no plan.
there's a common denominator. That's why.
But
I, it sucks.
just don't follow the trends, man. You guys see that stuff? Like you read, like even if you just check the news, or if you could go down into a rabbit hole,
Hmm.
and those thoughts in your head, you could just wake up like, man, I'm all about violence today. um like, don't follow those trends. Like, man, surround yourself with good people. That's what I always believe in. But don't try to follow or do something that you're not supposed to do, man, or you're not supposed to follow. Like, um I don't think I ever shared this with you, but my daughters in sun school, they had a lockdown about a month ago.
Oh wow.
A lockdown because a kid was at home, and he smoked some weed and drank some alcohol, got drunk,
What did
uh,
he drink?
vodka
Straight?
straight, and called the
I make
school
anybody do
to
something.
threaten like do a bomb threat, or he was gonna shoot the school up.
And how old is this kid?
7th grade.
Oh my gosh.
So
And what did that feel like as a parent for you to be going through that? Knowing everything that's going on right now.
scary, because as much as I want my kids to be in a better school, they're surrounded by
See, and you are like, oh, we moved to Texas. We got the best schools in the
oh, well,
neighborhood, and
we do,
da da
but
da da da.
you get the privilege. You get privilege. That's
But
what
that's what I'm saying. Like anything could happen anywhere. Like it's good
that,
parts and bad parts of
that's
every city in America.
But
You know
when
what I'm
Jesse, yeah, but when Jesse says like follow the trend, like just follow or like keep good people around you, but like I'm sure like people in the grocery store could get have good people around them, but you can't control the
yeah,
other people. And like this was just what happened with your kid's school. Like you can't control everybody else.
Yeah, it's deeper than
Maybe
that.
your son and your daughter have good friends, but the friends that they don't have don't mean that,
yeah,
that they won't
yeah,
go and
yeah.
just
But
do
I'm
what
just
they.
saying, like those thoughts. It's kind of hard to say, like it, you're going out there to do that. Like if I was very standoffish and I wasn't myself, you guys know me, and I'm like, oh shoot, I might go, I've been talking about this, or hey, I've been very violent. I'm sure you guys would check me, right? You guys would say, hey, are you cool, or is everything all
But
right?
it has to get, it gets to a certain point. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like in my opinion, I don't know. You know what? I
It,
don't know because I can't really speak on that, just how I grew up. And I think the people who are mass shooters, serial killers, they don't grow up like any of us three grow up. A lot of them like are bullied or grew up in isolation, or some sort of harm from their parents, whether it's mental, physical, sexual abuse, whatever it is. So I don't really know what my opinion is on top, as far as like how you go from a normal human in society to that.
it's hard because like so I watched a documentary on Columbine, right? I forgot the
Mhm.
kid's name, but he was a normal kid, like super normal. Parents would never, they didn't even know nothing was going on. They didn't find out until after, and they researched after obviously everything was done, but nobody ever knew this was what's going on in his head. So Jesse's saying like we would check you if we would see you doing
Like,
going through stuff, saying stuff, doing stuff that you shouldn't be. But sometimes like that stuff is just not out in the open. Some people are in the closet with these feelings
Yeah, and just
based
like
on
you see all the time, people are like, "Oh, the neighbor was so cool, and I never would have known." And da da da. Da.
yeah,
Like, I don't think there's like always. Sometimes I do believe there are clear cut signs, and other times I think like Andy said, you would never know. So
Mhm.
that's just my opinion.
no,
Yeah.
you guys are right. You guys are right.
It's touchy, man. But
Yeah,
overall, like we just gotta stop hating, man. That's it's
yeah.
at the end of the day, like we know, like we bleed the same. Obviously, what makes us special is our culture and our diversity. But other people just don't see it that way. Like they just don't see it that way.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So, condolences to everybody that's been affected as of late, and that's only the ones that like we really know that are really big ones. There's actually been a lot more because I looked it up, and there were several days that had multiple incidents in that particular day. So,
Yeah.